After over a decade of being a CrossFit coach and personal trainer, I ditched the gym for workouts at home. But even for a fitness instructor, working out alone can be tough. So I invite you to work out with me. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Erin with So Pumped Fitness. And if you've been feeling a little stressed, frazzled, maybe a little out of it lately, then this workout is exactly what you need. We are combining two movements, and they're both relatively simple movements, and we're combining them in a way where we'll be changing the movements on the exact same time intervals. So you don't even have to think in this workout. You just follow along with exactly what I do, change movements when I change movements, and it's gonna be over before you know it, and you're gonna be so proud that you worked out today and happy that you did it. Now, the two movements that we're combining today are step ups, and of course, if you don't have that step, you can do the backwards lunge into the high knee, and we'll go over all that during the practice. And we're also doing overhead presses. Let's talk about how we're putting these two movements together. We're gonna go descending time intervals of both of the movements. We're going to do the step-ups for twice as long as we do overhead press. This is how it's gonna go. We'll start out with 4 minutes of step-ups, followed by 2 minutes of overhead press. Then we'll do 3 minutes of step-ups, followed by 1.5 minutes of overhead press. Then 2 minutes of step-ups, 1 minute of overhead press, and we'll end with 1 minute of step-ups and 30 seconds of overhead press, for a grand total of 15 minutes of work. Now take a look at those numbers real quick. We're starting out with 4 minutes of step-ups, so that is gonna get the heart rate going. That is gonna burn some major calories, which is exactly what we want. And we're following that with 2 minutes of overhead press, which is a long time to be doing overhead press. So I recommend that you use a light weight today. I'm thinking ladies, no heavier than about 5 pounds, gentlemen, no heavier than about 10 pounds. I myself am going to be using cans of Bush's baked beans that weigh just a little bit over 1 pound each. So go gather 2 light-weighted objects that you can hold on to and press safely up overhead, set up next to your step or wherever you want to do your step back lunges with the high knee if you're not going to be doing step-ups. And stay tuned. We'll do a quick 4-minute warm-up followed by the practice of the movements that we'll do in the workout. Then we've got our 15-minute high-intensity interval training followed by everyone's favorite part, the 5-minute stretch at the end. Let's get started. Let's start out by getting warmed up. Because today's workout starts out with 4 minutes of low impact cardio, we don't have to do a lot of cardio in the warm-up today. That's why it's only 4 minutes long. And we'll be focusing a little bit more on dynamic stretching. We'll switch stretches every 30 seconds. Let's start out with an overhead stretch. I just want you to grab one wrist and stretch up overhead, and then switch, grabbing the other wrist, getting a nice big shoulder stretch here. It's just kind of like good morning, waking up, getting out of bed, getting those shoulders just stretched out, stretching out through the side of our bodies, getting ready for that overhead press. We've got just a few more seconds here, and then we're going to continue focusing in the arms with arm swings. So let's go to that, arms forward and back. We're swinging those arms behind us, and then we're alternating which arm is on top every time our arms come around and we give ourselves a big hug. So we're feeling that stretch through our chest each time we bring the hands back, and then each time we give ourselves a big hug, we're thinking about pulling our shoulder blades apart, getting that stretch through our upper backs. Let's spend about 5 more seconds here, and then we're going to move on to arm circles. So let's go big backwards arm circles here, shrugging our shoulders up, just getting that big range of motion through our shoulders. We're going to spend half the time doing backwards arm circles and then ending with our forward arm circles. So let's switch forward arm circles here for the last 15 seconds of this interval. Good. And take this time, take some big deep breaths. Just a few more seconds here, and then we're going to move on to the lower body. So let's go to a quad pull. I want you to grab the ankle, feel a little stretch through that quad, that big muscle through the front of your legs. So let's go ahead and keep alternating here through our quad pull. Just get that stretch and then switch to the other leg. And as soon as you feel the stretch, then we're switching again. Just a nice dynamic stretch here, kind of waking up our leg muscles, getting ready for this workout. Good. From here, we're going to go to our knee pull. So I want you to think about pulling that knee up towards your chest. Abs are pulled in strong, chest up tall. We're pulling that knee up, feeling a stretch through our glutes, through our backs, Maybe through the backs of our legs here as we alternate this big high march, knee pull. Keep going here, about 10 more seconds. Again, we're taking deep breaths, waking up to the idea of getting our workout in. Let's switch to a calf stretch. So we're stepping our foot back, pushing that heel back, leaning forward, feeling that stretch through our back calf. And then we're just switching it up, pushing that heel back as we lean forward. Keep switching it, pushing the heel back toward the floor, lean forward. And then again, keep alternating. Every time you get that calf stretch, hold it for just a second, and then switching to the other side. 5 more seconds here, and then we're gonna finish out 2 30-second intervals of inchworms. So we're standing up, bending at our hips, bending our knees, walking our hands forward all the way to a plank. And then we're pushing our hips back up, walking in, bending our knees, standing up, and that is an inchworm. Let's keep going. Bending down, hands to the floor, walking ourselves out to a plank, walking our hands back in, standing up. Like I said, we're gonna do 2 30-second intervals here. So when you hear that beep, you're just gonna keep going. Here we go, another 30 seconds. Same thing here with those inchworms. Really getting those shoulders ready to work in our overhead press endurance challenge today. A few more inchworms here. And let's go ahead and call that good. Our 4-minute warm-up is complete. Let's get ready to practice the movements that we're going to use in today's workout. We have 2 movements in today's workout, our step up or our step back into the lunge plus a high knee, and our overhead press. Let's go over that step up first. If you have a step to step onto, I want to see you go step and then drive that back foot up into a high knee and then straight back down. Switch the feet, step, high knee, straight back down. If you have a step, try that with me. Step, high knee, down, switch, step, high knee, down, switch, step, high knee, down, switch, step, high knee, down, switch. I think you've got that. If you don't have a step, the rhythm for the back step lunges with the high knee is very similar. And all of us can try this. So even if you're standing next to a step, try this alternative with us. So we're going to step back into just a partial lunge. I want the knees bent just a little bit. Then we're going to drive this back knee up into a high knee and then step down and the other leg goes back. Partial lunge, drive the back knee up, down, switch, step back, high knee, switch, step back, high knee, switch. So we're not going into our full lunge today because we have such a long interval for these step ups or the step back lunges. I just want you going to that partial lunge where both knees bend a little bit each time and then really drive that knee up. Regardless of whether you're stepping up onto a step or you're doing those back lunges, every time you drive the knee up, I want you thinking about doing a crunch. So you're pulling your abs in strong, using your abs to crunch that knee up towards your chest. And regardless of whether you're stepping on a step or doing the step back lunges, I want your arms pumping the whole time too. So elbows bent, moving from the shoulders, making this a big full body cardio movement. Now let's talk overhead press. So hopefully you have that light to light moderate weight. Again, I am using cans that I got from my pantry. We're starting with our arms bent and those weights on our shoulders. Then with our abs pulled in strong, we are pressing those weights all the way up overhead, like we're trying to press them all the way up through the ceiling or the sky. That really finishes the movement and forces us to squeeze our shoulder muscles as we think about pushing that weight all the way up overhead. Now let's talk safety here. We don't ever want our elbows flaring out here to the side. That's bad for our shoulders as we press up overhead. Instead, what we want to do is have our elbows slightly in front of us at all times so that as we press those weights up overhead, both elbows stay in our peripheral vision. Okay, but what if you don't have super lightweight and you're worried about doing that overhead press for the entire 2 minutes that we've got that first set going? You can always go to your push press. So remember, push press starts out the same with the weights on the shoulders, but we get the legs involved a little bit where we go dip and then we jump the weight up overhead. So you're still getting that full range of motion through the shoulders, and we're still working our shoulder muscles. We're just using the legs to help our poor tired shoulders a little bit. So the goal here is to do shoulder press with just our shoulder muscles for as long as we can. Of course, if you need to take a break at any time during this workout and shake out your arms, you can absolutely do that. And then another way to help out the shoulder muscles if they get tired is to add in the legs and go to that push press where we're jumping the weight up overhead. Okay, those are our movements in today's workout. Let's get ready to get started. We are starting in 10 seconds. Going in 3, 2, 1, go. So here we are in our 4 minutes of step-ups. But the good thing is you don't have to count any reps. You don't have to worry too much about what you're doing. You just kind of get to let your mind relax, fall into a rhythm, and just move. So let's just breathe here. Let your mind relax. Let your mind go somewhere else. And let's enjoy this nice cardio rhythm for the next 3 minutes or so. You've got this. Keep moving. So we're already halfway through this first set of step-ups. How are you feeling? Have you locked into a rhythm? Are you still keeping track of your form? Thinking about pulling the abs in strong every time you drive that knee up? And are we doing big, tall, proud step-ups? We definitely don't want to be hunched over. We want our shoulders back, chest up, eyes up. Happy about this workout that we are doing today. Proud of ourselves for moving our bodies. Keep those chests up. Keep that breath going as I almost trip over a tennis ball. Big breaths going. Keep those arms pumping. You are off to a fantastic start. We've got a little over a minute left in these step-ups. Keep it going. And we have 25 seconds left of our step-ups. You're almost there. You're almost through this first set. We are doing a great job. Coming up, we have that challenging endurance set of overhead presses. But we have already made it through this long step-up step. So I know that you have 2 minutes of overhead press in you. Let's get started now. So we're moving on to that 2-minute set of overhead presses. As we're getting started, keep those feet moving a little bit. The last thing that we want to do right now is stand still and lock out our knees. Definitely do not do that. So keep those feet moving a little bit. Keep breathing as we're pushing our weights up overhead. And even though our heart rate is going, our chest is moving up and down as we are trying to catch our breath. Let's make sure to have a little bit of tension in our core. So even though we're breathing hard, we're still pulling our belly buttons in and up. Let's make sure that we're getting that full range of motion. So that weight comes down to our shoulders each time, and we're pressing it up overhead, squeezing those shoulder muscles every time we press our weights up overhead. Whew, we are almost through the first minute. Let's check in on form. Are you keeping the elbows slightly in front of you? Remember, we don't want those elbows flaring out to the side. We should always be able to see our elbows in our peripheral vision. Are we pushing those cans up overhead as if we're trying to push them up through the ceiling or through the sky, depending on where you are? Make sure you finish each rep, pushing all the way up. Oh my goodness, we have 40 seconds left. My shoulders are burning. I hope yours are too. Remember, if you need to take a break, take a break. And then if you need to go to that push press and get the legs in there and let the legs help your shoulders a little bit, you can totally do that too. It's still gonna give you a great upper body workout. Even if we get the legs involved a little bit, it doesn't take away from the arms. It just helps the arms a little bit. We're almost there. Oh my gosh, you can do this. 10 more seconds, and then we're going back to those step-ups, and we'll have 30 minutes of step-ups. We're almost there. 5 seconds. Give me a few more reps, and set those weights down. Let's go back to step-ups. Awesome job. Wow, we made it through that first set of overhead press. That was our longest set of overhead press that we're going to do in this workout. Congratulations. That is not easy. But we did it. Let's let those shoulders relax a little bit. We still want to pump our arms, so we're moving our arms from the shoulders, but let's make sure as we do our step-ups that we're not scrunching our shoulders up, okay? We want long, proud necks, and we're just moving those arms, letting the blood flow through our shoulders. After that overhead press, burn. Let's fall into that step up stride again. Taking our deep breaths, taking our big, tall, proud steps. And we are through our first minute in this set of step ups. We have just a little under 2 minutes to go. I'm gonna let you zone out, listen to music for a little bit. Here we go. We're halfway through the set. Keep going. We have 1 minute left in these step-ups. Stick with that rhythm, but if you feel like you can, increase the pace a little bit. I'm not gonna tell you not to. Keep moving the arms, chest up, big deep breaths, big crunch as you pull that knee up each time you step. You are doing awesome. Keep up this calorie blasting workout. We have 10 more seconds here in our step-ups, and then we are going back to that overhead press. This time, overhead press is going to be for 1 minute, 30 seconds. Grab our weights. Here we go. Minute and 30 seconds of overhead press. We already know what to do. We're gonna keep our feet moving. We're gonna do that full range of motion through our shoulder press movement. So each time we bring those weights down, they're coming all the way to our shoulders. Each time we press them up overhead, we're straightening our arms all the way, squeezing our shoulder muscles. And I feel like my pace for this movement has gone down just a little bit. If yours has too, that's okay. The goal is to keep moving for the entire time. If you're able to keep moving at a fast pace, that is awesome. And if you have to take a rest, you're still awesome. If you need to take that rest and shake out the shoulders, just come back in and join us again as soon as you can. Now we are past the halfway mark for this set. You can do this. Come on. Keep the feet moving so that you don't pass out. Keep the abs in strong. And just think mind over matter, mind over shoulder burn. You got this. We've got less than 30 seconds to go. Come on now. Keep those elbows slightly in front of you. Keep squeezing those weights, pressing those arms up overhead. We have 15 more seconds. You've got this. Oh, I can't wait to put these weights down, but we're almost there. Come on, we're in this together. We're gonna go back to step-ups in 5 seconds. Give me one more rep. Good, put those weights down. It is time for 2 minutes of step-ups. So getting back into that step-up pace. And remember, we're still moving the arms, keeping that blood flowing through the shoulders. Whew, that shoulder burns after those overhead presses. Burns so good though. Keep moving. And after those endurance first few sets, these last few sets are gonna go by quick. We already have less than 90 seconds of step-ups left. So let's make sure that we are challenging ourselves. Push that pace. If you can, keep the arms moving. Drive that knee up as high as you can each time, like you're doing a crunch. This is not just a cardio and arm workout. We are getting some core work in as well, crunching that knee up every time we do our step up. We have less than a minute to go. Fall into that rhythm, keep pushing, keep the head up, stay proud, here we go. And we have 30 seconds of step-ups left. You've got this. Keep pushing the pace. More seconds. And then next, we've got 1 minute of shoulder press coming up in 3, 2. All right, let's grab those weights. Just 1 minute of shoulder press. We're getting so close. We've already done 2 minutes of shoulder press. Then we've done 90 seconds of shoulder press. This is just a minute. You know that you can do this. Even though we're a little out of breath, even though our shoulders are starting to be fatigued, we know that proper form. We're pulling our belly buttons in and up. We're keeping our feet moving. We're breathing. And we're keeping our shoulder blades squeezed back and together while we push that weight up overhead and bring it down to the shoulders each time. Y'all, we are already past halfway in this set. You are going to be able to do this set. Keep moving the best you can. Whew. Oh my gosh. The 10 seconds, the last 10 seconds. The burn is always the worst. Whew. 5 more seconds here. And then we're going back to our step ups. 3, 2, set those weights down. All right, back to the step. This is our last interval of step ups. So we are really going to push the pace on this one. I want you moving your feet, pumping your arms, really breathing hard here. Just 45 seconds of step ups. Come on. Step up like you have never stepped up before. You got this. 30 seconds left. Let's do some enthusiastic step-ups. Big crunches, big, tall, proud heads. Let's go. 20 more seconds. Come on, 10 more seconds. Finish these step-ups strong. And then we have our last set of overhead press. We've got 30 seconds of overhead press coming up right now. Grab those weights, come on. This is the last part of this workout. Oh my gosh, just a little shoulder burn. So it's only 30 seconds. I want to see those weights going up and down as quickly as you can, correctly and controlled. We are already past halfway. Come on now, get that nice shoulder burn to finish off this workout. We're almost there. Move those weights. Come on, come on, come on. We've got 3, 2, 1, and we are done. Whew! I liked that workout. I hope you enjoyed it too. Thank you for joining me, but don't go anywhere because the stretch is coming up right now. All of our stretches in today's stretch are standing stretches, but we want to make sure that we're not locking out the knees. So just like in the workout when we went to our overhead press and I said keep the feet moving, make sure to not lock out the knees, same applies here for the stretch. All right, we got a really good shoulder pump today, so we are starting out with a standing neck stretch. First, let's take our right hand behind us so our forearm is parallel to the floor, and then we're going to take our left ear over toward our left shoulder. We'll be staying here for a total of 45 seconds on each side. So again, kind of keep those feet moving, make sure that we're not locking out our knees. And let's let our heart rates come down as we take some deep breaths here, as we feel that nice stretch through the right side of our neck and through our right shoulder. We've got 20 more seconds here in this stretch. Good, and then lifting our head up, we are just gonna switch that out. So now we're taking our left arm behind us, again, forearm parallel to the floor, and now we're letting our right ear sink over toward our right shoulder. Again, we'll stay here for about 45 seconds. Let's take deep, slow breaths, stretching out that left side of the neck. 15 more seconds here. Next, we are going to do another neck stretch. I want you to lift your head back up. Just clasp the fingers behind you, but we are going to keep our fingers there on our lower back, on our butt. We're just going to drop our chin down toward our chest. So you should feel this nice stretch through the back of your neck and through your upper back. Once you think about pushing your knuckles and your fingers down toward the ground and just gently dropping your chin down toward your chest. We're not going to stay here very long. In fact, 3, 2, and let's lift our head back up. Okay, we are going to go to our standing calf stretch. So we're stepping a foot back, thinking about pushing back through our heel and then lunging forward, getting that stretch through the back of our leg. In that calf area, our lower leg, as we press our heel down. Just a few more seconds here. And then we can just pivot to the other side, so not pressing that other heel down. Again, kind of lunging, but most of our effort is pushing back into that heel, pushing the heel toward the ground, getting that stretch through our lower leg, through our calf. Just like we did in the warm-up, except the warm-up was dynamic, and here we are holding this stretch. 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and go ahead and stand that up. We're going to a quad stretch next. We're going to go 45 seconds on each side. So if you need something to balance on, grab something. If you can balance just in that quad stretch, awesome for you. Let's hang out here for another 30 seconds. This is another stretch that we did in the warm-up, but now instead of switching and doing those dynamic stretches, we're doing what we call a static stretch, holding the stretch. We've got 20 more seconds here in this quad stretch. And let's release that and just switch sides. Grasping that other ankle. Remember, as we're doing these quad stretches, our kneecap is pointed straight down at the floor. We're thinking about pushing our shoulder down and back. You might even feel a little stretch through the shoulder area there, maybe that pec area. We're thinking about pressing our hips forward, really getting that good stretch through the front of our leg, through that quad area. 15 more seconds here. Good. And then let's release that ankle. Take our feet about a hip width apart. And I just want you to hinge from your hips to a standing forward fold. So we have just a slight bend in our knees. We're letting our upper body completely relax down. We're not going to stay here too long. We just want to enjoy that relaxing stretch through our lower backs, through our hamstrings, letting our head and neck completely relax here. And let's take one big deep breath here in our standing forward fold. And then what I want us to do is bend our knees even more and roll ourselves up. So one vertebrae at a time, slowly rolling ourselves up. Head and neck are the last things to roll up. And that completes our stretch for today. That completes our entire workout for today. Awesome job. Today was an endurance challenge with those big long intervals of step-ups and those long intervals of overhead press. But you stepped up to the challenge. And I am so proud of you. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to give me a little thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I love your comments so much. And if you enjoyed this workout, share it with a friend. See you next time.